I'm Gaius Charles, and I play Luke Fox, aka Batwing.
So what is your favorite part about playing your character?
I think my favorite part was I just recently saw the film, and just seeing his transformation from Luke Fox into Batwing. I think there's a really cool sequence, like a cinematic sequence where we see him put on the suit for the first time. And for me, that was really cool because that's when it really became real that he made that transition to actually become the superhero.
Guys, you have a really physical role as Smash Williams on
Yes.
Friday Night Lights. How was it doing this voice acting?
Well, it's interesting because, voice acting is, it's a really cool experience. I mean, it's still acting, but it's unique in the sense that you have to put your whole performance in your voice, and, I went to, to school and studied theater, and got my degree in that. And so we took 4 years of voice training, all that kind of stuff, but actually figuring out how do you put those subtle nuances into a performance is really interesting. And I've even learned a lot just watching. I got to record with Ernie Hudson, who plays Lucius Fox, and some of the other folks as well in this project. So, you learn a lot, you pick up a lot, and you do your best to kind of bring that character to life.
Did you have kind of your own ideas on how to play him before Andrea?
No, you know what? I didn't really know a lot about Batwing. I mean, I've been a Batman fan for such a long time. I mean, as a kid growing up, I'd run around the house, pretend I was Batman. So I didn't really know that this character even existed. And then, when I had the opportunity to play him, I just, wanted to really do it justice, to bring it to life, because this is the first time really we're seeing him on screen.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask, you could definitely play a live-action version of him. Would you
ever
want to play it if they...
Sure, why not? Why not?
You'd be amazing, man.
Thank you.
So great.
Appreciate that.
I mean, the whole thing about this is really the Bat family's kind of become a little dysfunctional.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, a lot of families, have their little dysfunctional things, but it's kind of cool because, with Batman missing, we kind of see how each member of the Bat family kind of has to step up and fill in his shoes, and I think each one has a unique perspective and a unique role to play in helping to fill those shoes.
Nice. Is there, besides Batman, who's your favorite member of the Bat family, and besides Batman?
Oh, it's tough, man. I mean...
Or you could say favorites.
Yeah,
So many.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many. Outside of just I'd have to kind of break out into the Justice League, because I think that's a little bit broader. I really am a fan of... You'll allow it. We'll allow it. I've been a huge fan of Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, obviously. Yeah. So I'd be kind of interested to see, if these characters, if this sort of Bat Family universe can expand even larger into the Justice League universe, because, obviously with Batman and Superman coming out, it's just really exciting to see all these new characters on screen.
Oh yeah, man. I hope we do see Jon Stewart.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You said that you were a big Batman fan before learning who Batwing was.
Sure.
Can I ask what got you into Batman?
Just being you know what, I remember, I guess my first impressions of Batman were from watching Adam West in the TV show. It's like everybody's watching Adam West. It's like I remember watching the reruns as a kid, and that was really cool. And then the Batman the animated series was huge. That was so ahead of its time, so transformational. So that was another big thing. Yeah, I mean, you can watch that now and it still feels new. It's still kind of it's classic. It's just classic. So yeah, those would be my kind of early impressions of Batman.
Do you have a favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series?
There's so many.
Oh,
I mean, there's just so many. I mean, because actually I just learned, because we're hanging out with the creators of our movie, but then they've also worked on other things. So one of the guys who's worked on our project, he actually worked on that, and he was saying that Harley Quinn was not in the comic books. Yeah. She was actually invented or brought to life in that series. Oh, yeah. And I was like, what? Because now you think of Harley, she's so iconic that you're like, oh, she's always been there. But she hasn't, so I just learned that little bit of, factoid, that little bit of trivia. So that was cool. And, hopefully it'll be good for other characters that we haven't seen, that they come to life in such a fresh, real way that eventually they can go forward and be in other things. I mean, Harley Quinn's now in, Suicide Squad. So, maybe that's helpful for Batwing to sort of be in the movies too.
Yeah, I hope we see Batwing. Like I said, you can play the part, man.
There you go.
How was it working with Andrea as a voice director?
It was great. It was really great. You know, he was really specific, really knew what he wanted, and then could kind of get those nuances, which I thought was really helpful, especially since this was my first animated film. It was nice to have somebody who was just a total pro and so generous and just really knew what he wanted.
You know, she kind of comes from an acting background, so she understands the process, but then she also knows this world now, and if you stumble a little bit or maybe not sure where to go, she can kind of guide you.
Sure.
But yeah, like, is there any, besides Batwing, I suggested, is there any character you would love to play else in the Batman, or just DC
Yeah,
world?
I think,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, for me, I've always been, excuse me, I've always been a fan of Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to put him in the, you know, the next sort of series of movies, but I would love to see Green Lantern. I mean, Green Lantern. Come on, you gotta put him in there. So yeah, I really like him. Hey, there you go. Appreciate
what
that.
would you construct with your ring?
You know, that's the thing about Jon Stewart that's so cool is like he has that engineer background, so it's like literally whatever he can imagine, he can make. So I don't know, man. I would make like a whole bunch of stuff.
I know,
like
it's
awesome.
fun. That's a great power to have.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
We were saying that we think he should be more badass in the next movie if he's in it.
Yeah, that would be dope. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask more about Batwing. Do you feel like you, as an actor, have any emotional connection to the character?
I mean, I think we all, I mean, for me, it's always like what is the truth of this character? What is the truth of his story?
Yeah.
You know, as an actor, you look, you know, what does this person want? What do they need? What are their dreams? What are their hopes? What are their desires? What are their, you know, all those different things. And so for me, it was like trying to explore that and then also see how is this character going to be relatable to an audience, and finding those subtleties and just those, you know, those connection points. So, you know, I really just tried to bring my whole self to the script and to the role and, you know, collaborate with everyone involved. And I think we were able to do something really cool.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to watch the movie tonight.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you.
Batwing's you know, you were saying before that you weren't familiar with Batwing before this project. I feel like a lot of people
they don't. Yeah, exactly.
Household names. So your version of Batwing is going to be the version of Batwing.
Sweet. That's really cool. Yeah, I think the first Batwing was David Zavimbe. Yeah, in 2011 that one came out, and then in 2013 we have Luke Fox, and he's in Batwing 19. But what I also learned from the comic books is that Batman actually wanted Luke Fox to take on the Batwing role, but Lucius Fox didn't want to have it because of his son and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool to actually like see the first version of him as the one that, you know, Batman really wanted, you know, and you know, just seeing how he kind of explores the tech. The thing about the film also is that there's some great, I mean, I love, like, you know, the fight sequences and the gadgets, and like the villains have really cool gadgets in this one, the heroes do, so yeah, I think people are going to be excited to see it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool that you addressed that too, because I know some people are like, oh, which version? I mean, until the movie's out.
Sure.
So yeah, and yeah, that's a really cool take, especially with the father-son dynamic. So having two different father figures for Batman and Lucius.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a whole lot of, you know, family dynamics, obviously, in the Batman, you know, the Batman family and the Batman universe, but I think it's really special, the kind of relationship that those two characters have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So working with Ernie, what was that like?
He was great. I mean, just learned so much from him. Like, really helps to, like, you know, create those nuances when you're able to record with somebody who, you know, you have a lot of scenes with. So usually, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but usually you record by yourself and then they kind of put it all together and stuff. But being able to record with him helped us really capture that kind of back and forth between the father and the son dynamic. So it's a lot of fun.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but based on the way that the movie sets him up, do you think we could be seeing Batwing in more movies? I
sure hope so. Yeah, why not? You know, I think that the way that they've set, I mean, this is sort of part of a larger trilogy, and something exciting's happening over there. Yeah, exactly.
Can you repeat that last line?
No, I just said I think that this is part of a larger storyline. So hopefully, you know, that storyline will continue with, you know, these characters developing further. So I think it's important to kind of set them up so we can kind of see where they go from here.
Yeah, we've never had something on the Bat family,
right?
So to speak. So to kind of use this as a launching point to do more would be really cool.
Totally. Yeah. So.
Just one quick off-topic question.
Sure.
Did Smash Williams get screwed over as a character?
I know.
I don't think so, because I think that, you know, Jason Tatum's and all the people involved, like, they really gave him like an incredible story arc, you know. I think that time was just kind of chaotic for everybody, but I thought that the way that they gave him his, you know, kind of moment, and, you know, having, you know, go to college, and the whole thing, had that whole storyline kind of come together, was amazing, and that was such a fantastic experience.
Oh, that's actually a good related question. How does it feel that other cast members have become superheroes too?
It's great. It's awesome. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see everybody successful. Yeah.
Gambit, Mockingbird, all.
It's so great. It's really great, and it's great to be able to celebrate, you know, people that you worked with and that you just, you know, want the best for. So.
I know. I'm a big fan of the show, especially my brother. We just like going out to know him and everything.
There you go. Yeah.
What's up next?
Yeah.
I'm actually in a TV series called Aquarius.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to bring that back pretty soon, and yeah, just other things going on as well.
That's the period piece. Right?
Yeah, it's actually a 1960s period piece.
So
Yeah.
What's that? How do you kind of relate to a character at that time? How do you kind of get yourself?
You do the research, you do the work, and then you dive in. You know, yeah, kind of like taking on a superhero character. You know, you find out what it's about, the story, the character, and you dive in.
Earlier we asked about your favorite Batman the Animated Series episode.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite just Batman story in general? Again, either cartoons, movies, anything.
Yeah. I was a really big fan of the Batman Beyond series.
Oh yeah.
Really like Batman Beyond, and I just found out again that wasn't a comic book. That was just something they created because they wanted something different.
Yeah.
That was Batman.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was so cool. Maybe not my favorite, but one of those that are really up there.
Yeah.
And the irony is that and Harley Quinn are now in the comic.
Totally.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that like I said, you can add on to these characters. Like I said, probably after this movie comes out, more people will be fans of
Batwing, exactly.
And then, we'll see him in movies, and like I said, hopefully
Totally.
they'll get to play a part, either that or John Cena.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Audition for both, because you can handle both.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
20 years from now, the Batwing movie franchise will have gone on for too long. And we'll all be sick of it.
I know.
What are Batwing's relationships like with the other Bat heroes? You know, besides Batman.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't really. I mean, he's new. He's one of the new guys, you know. So he doesn't really know a lot of. He's more connected, obviously, through Lucius Fox. So, like, I think once he gets into it, he starts putting the pieces together. But you know, there's a scene where he talks about, you know, his dad tries to play it off like he doesn't know anything about Batman. And Luke Fox is like, come on, like, I've been coming here for years, you know, I know there's something going on, tell me what's up. And, you know, he kind of puts the pieces together. But it's cool because actually you kind of see him get introduced through his dad and his dad's work, and then you see him start to build relationships with the other characters in the Bat family.
Which characters in the Bat family is Batwing closest to?
I don't know. I mean, I think from the comic books, I'd have to say Batman, obviously. But I think that he can probably learn a lot from Nightwing and from some of the other characters who have to kind of figure out their place. Because Batman, I mean, he's so iconic. He kind of he takes up a lot of the oxygen in the room, so to speak. You know, so to have the other characters kind of figure out where they fit in relationship to him is helpful. And I think Luke's character, Batwing, I think he'll have the same kind of thing of figuring out where he fits too.
Nice. Oh, I was gonna ask. Since we got to this point, would you love to see some Batwing action figures, like specifically some?
Why not? Yeah. Sure. I mean, I think that all that stuff is really cool. So
I'd love to see
why
that.
not? Okay.
Cap, we need to save the president. Watch my back.
You got it, Tony. Just make sure to watch your language.